Part 1 of our quarantine van build. I'm Deanna and this is my husband James, and we're converting this van into a camper van while we're stuck in quarantine. It's going to have a queen-size bed and sectional seating area, a full-size shower, and this is the water tank and hot water heater for the kitchen and shower. It'll all be powered by this solar electrical system here and this humongous battery. We built the frame and the base for the shower and built this pop-out area for the shampoo and body wash. Now we're cutting the wood for the long slatted ceiling. We already insulated behind it and we're screwing right into the metal studs of the van. The hardest part was cutting the right size for the round lights, but after a few tries we got it right. We used a thin piece of wood so that the spacing would be even throughout, and we put a wooden stud wherever there wasn't a metal one. And we are loving how it turned out. These are the tiles that I'm using in the back wall of the shower, so like and follow for part 2 when I install them. Hey, it's part 2 of our quarantine van build where we're putting a full-size shower in our van. You might be wondering how we can use tile in something that moves so much, and the answer is silicone-based glue that we're using right here. It allows it to bend and move without cracking, it's super strong, and it's completely waterproof. We used fiberglass panels on the sides and ceiling, and we used a composite tile in the pop-out on a slight slope so it doesn't collect water. We let each section dry before doing the next, and these spacers were a lifesaver to keep everything so straight. I love it so far, but we still need to grout. So I'm using this silicone grout that makes it even stronger, bendable, and waterproof. Then finally we added the handle and shower head, and oh my goodness, I'm in love. We ordered a self-cleaning retractable door that will go right here, and I am so excited to build the cabinets because this is the cane webbing for the cabinet doors here, so like and follow for part 3. Welcome to part 3 of our quarantine van build. In parts 1 and 2 we installed the framing, water and electrical system, the ceiling, and a full-size shower. Now we're making our upper cabinets. We got to soak our cane webbing for a few hours and we're starting to measure and cut. Because we're working with weird angles in a van, we use a foam board first to make sure we get all our angles right. Then, after lots of sanding, pocket holes, and screws, we can cut out the shape for our cabinet doors. We cut out this divot on the back where we'll attach the cane webbing, and I know there are so many steps, so I'll include a lot more behind the scenes on my Instagram stories. We drilled the holes for the hinges, and now it is cane webbing time. Because we soaked it, it made it so much easier to install, and it will dry a lot tighter, and oh my goodness, we're getting so close. We cut off the excess, attached the hinges, and put it up. We made sure it was level and even, and then we screwed it tight. And here they are. If you want to be notified when the next part comes out, you can turn on my Instagram post notifications. And for the bottom cabinet color, do you think we should do a terracotta or a darker green? Hey, it's Deanna and James again, and this is part 4 of our quarantine van build. We are building out the lower cabinets, and we have to decide where we're going to put our fridge, microwave, sink, pipes, and outlets. Our water tank's on this side of the van, so it makes it easiest to have the shower and sink on this side as well. Then we position everything to have the most storage and best functionality. Once we know our layout and we know how many shelves and drawers we need, we cut all the pieces to size and assemble it. And here's the cabinet paint color. Just kidding. We decided to go with the darker green. This paint sprayer has saved us so much time, and whoop, there it is. We got butcher block countertop and we made this template to cut out a sinkhole. We're going to try and save this cutout for later to use inside the sink if we want more counter space. Then we did lots of coats of wax conditioner to help treat and seal the wood. Alright, here are the lower cabinets. And I'll do a tour on my Instagram story so you can see how everything fits inside. So like and follow for part 5 when we install the walls and back windows. Hey, it's Deanna and James again, and this is part 5 of our quarantine van build. We are finally doing the walls, and we're going to add a pop-out like we did in the shower, but we couldn't decide between a rectangle or an arch, so we asked Instagram.
This pole has been really close. It's playing with my emotions.
So we're going to go with
The arch.
the arch. We're doing the arch. So, since we're doing the arch, we need to do arch walls inside the pop-out as well. We wet a thin board and slowly bent it around our scrap cutout, and then kept inching it in. We added these little baby studs so that we could nail it in from the side, and then we did the same thing to attach the back piece. Now, this might be a little crazy to do in a van, but I really love a plastered wall look. So, we did a base coat, and then I added some lime wash glaze to add some texture. Then to add some layers and dimension, I went back in with the base coat, added a lighter coat, and then finished off with the original color. So we'll let these dry and make sure you like and follow for part 6 so you don't miss when we install these walls in the van. During quarantine, my husband and I have been converting this van into a tiny home with a full-size shower, cabinetry, and now we're putting up the walls. In our last video, we did the pop-outs and the plaster paint, and now we're going to paint the door panels the same way. We're using the bottom panel to trace and make a new one, and because we don't have a top panel to trace, we're making our own stencil by using wax paper and some spray adhesive. We cut right on the lines, and it gives us just the size we need. Now, I wish installing these was as easy as snapping a finger, but here it is. And here. Now to finish off these walls, it's a little stressful to put huge holes in the back of our van, but we are so excited to be putting windows in, and they turned out so fresh. I know we have a few projects to go before styling, but I just couldn't help myself. We still have to fill the screw holes and do some caulking, but I'm loving how cozy it's making it already. Now let's get this bed and seating area done and get down some flooring. What do you think, black flooring or natural wood? You guys, you're not even ready for this update of our quarantine van build because things are coming together. We decided to repaint the walls a warm gray but keep the texture. And while the walls are down, we cut a hole in our upper cabinets for a hidden projector screen. We finally get to put it all back together, so we recorded a stop motion video of it going back in. This gray will make the colors that we want to decorate with really pop. We decided to go with the natural wood flooring because it will give a nice contrast against the dark green cabinets. Once everything's in, we can decide on which drawer pulls to use to see what would really look nice. I'm loving how the floors are looking with the ceiling, and the countertops really spread out the wood so there's not too much in one place. We're going to use a felt liner on the inside of all the benches so we have a clean storage space, and we raised the floor because the wheel wells are so high, and so we'll add drawer storage underneath. We have to buy some more flooring, but for now let's install this projector. We're actually using an electric blind for the screen because it's made of the same material and has a lot more size options. I'll post a video of everything we use so you can see how it works. A few touch-ups to do, but here it is. Now let's start the cushions and table. What color cushions would you do? You spoke and we listened. We got so many color suggestions for the cushions in our quarantine van build, and the most were for a cream or a white. And if you've missed any videos of the van build, you can go to my page and binge watch them all. We got a 4-inch memory foam king size mattress pad and cut it to size. Now I know lighter colors are hard to keep clean, but that's why we got this faux leather material that's wipeable but still super soft. I'm making 2 bottom seat cushions and 2 back cushions. We'll be building a table for the middle of the seating area, and when that table goes down, these cushions will slide together and become a queen size bed. Now I'm super excited about these hanging straps because not only do I love the way it looks, it makes it so much easier to lift up the bottom cushion and get into the bench. We are getting a lot of projects done, but make sure you're following me because I cannot wait to show you where we are putting our hidden secret compartment. Where do you think we're gonna hide it? Guys, it's Deanna and James again, and we finished our hidden secret compartment in the van that we've been turning into a tiny home during quarantine. But first, look at this material that we got for our tabletop. I was so hesitant about getting any type of contact paper, but this stuff is so thick and such good quality, and I'm so excited about it. To give ourselves a clean storage space, we covered the walls of the benches in a felt material, and this is where we have our hidden compartment. At first, it just looks like the floor of the storage box, but when you press down on the floor, you can lift up the lid and have all your goodies inside. We finished up the last part of the flooring with all these little pieces, and I'm so excited that we have these huge drawers for so much more storage. Our cushions march their way right back in, and I love that we have a Lagoon table mount that lets our table swivel all the way around and totally out of the way. We finally get to install the shower door, and I'll be showing the behind the scenes of all of these projects on my Instagram stories. And because we are so close to being finished, we are planning our road trip across the entire United States back to the West Coast. Do you have any recommendations for where we should stop along the way? Welcome to part 10 of our quarantine van build, and yes, there will be cornhole. We've been converting this van into a tiny home during quarantine, and this is the last part before decorating and the final reveal. We got these curtain tracks because they're able to bend around the corners, and your arms definitely start to hurt if you hold them up too long. But they're completely blackout, slide so smooth, and will keep the van so much cooler. And since we have most of the necessities taken care of, I thought we had time for a quick game of cornhole. I painted the board black, and I found this terrazzo contact paper at Walmart. And I had the cutest little helper to help me mount the stand on the back. The board fits right on top of the back drawer so we can still store stuff inside, and then we can play right out the back. To keep it open and airy when you just walk in the van, I'm building a rounded shelf instead of having the upper cabinets come all the way across. I painted it white to match the cabinetry, and you know I'm going to fit so many plants on there. The back of this cabinet is so ready to be covered, but we had to make sure that we had enough ventilation for the fridge. So we used some extra cane webbing that we had from the cabinets and attached the panel. I'm posting the behind the scenes of all these projects on my Instagram stories, and make sure you like and follow for the final reveal. Random things in our van build that just make sense. Part 1. We installed this retractable shower door that saves so much space, but it also dries itself off when it closes back up. Our shower head is connected to a long hose that can reach outside so we can rinse stuff off. We installed this retractable clothesline that lets our clothes dry if we wash them by hand, or lets our towel hang dry after a shower. Random things in our van build that just make sense. Part 2. We have self-locking drawers so they don't fly open when we're moving, but they're also soft closed so we don't have to slam them shut. We installed magnets on the cabinet doors so that they stay closed, but it's also still easy to open. And we also have sliding tracks on our bottom shelf so we can reach the things all the way in the back. Random things in our van build that just make sense. Part 3. We used an electric blind for our projector screen so we could get the exact size we needed, and it can store away when we're not using it. We use a magnet to mount the projector so it's a clean surface underneath the cabinet. In the shower and kitchen, we made built-in wall storage so we could utilize more storage space. We added a swivel seat base to the front passenger seat so that it can turn all the way around, open it up, and add more seating.